Hey guys, this is my reflection after 1 year of freelancing on my own. I just wanted to make this video to document, the ups, downs, and just everything that had happened in this past year. Because before this, I hadn't done freelance animation on my own at all, really. Sure, I worked for different studios variously, but this year was different. I rented out a studio and I kind of decided that this was the year I was going to go all in on animation. So many of my jobs that I got were kind of all over the place. I had some gigs where I was doing claymation, other things where I was doing social media, I was doing medical animations for people. I even edited on a documentary this year. But basically, I was just looking for any gig related within my tool set and skill set that I felt like I could accomplish. And I was just looking for anything and everything. I even did some production assistant work for live action stuff. And I met some really amazing, talented people who went on to be really good friends of mine and really awesome mentors and peers around me that helped build up my own understanding of my craft and of adjacent crafts. So when I first rented out my studio and I was going solo, I was actually living in my studio. I don't recommend that because it was actually against the lease and I could have gotten kicked out. But I had nowhere else to stay, so it was like that and then Airbnbs. And I had a lot of hotel credits from when I was working on a production in Mississippi where I lived in a hotel for most of it. So that was basically how I started. Eventually, once I got an actual apartment to live in, I realized I wasn't making nearly enough money to keep my studio. So I ended up renting out half of it to another filmmaker, and I still rent it out with him, and that's been so helpful for allowing me to keep my studio space alive despite the financial situation. But another thing I want to touch on is when I first started, I didn't have a job anymore. I didn't have any freelance jobs available. I didn't know how to find clients. I didn't know how to do any of that, really. So a big part of what I was doing at first was reaching out to a ton of people. And actually one of the places that I was using for that, because Upwork and Fiverr, all those places that I tried weren't getting me any real clients. It was just a race to the bottom. I was just competing with so many other people. But I ended up working with some people who were located locally here that I had just found through Google, that sort of thing, and just staying in touch through social media with those people. And actually, Craigslist is where I ended up finding my studio mate who rents out my studio. So don't sleep on Craigslist. There is a lot of opportunity on there also. And a big part of Craigslist is you get to speak directly to the person who made the listing. You don't have to go through all these unknown job application services. So that's my advice there. Other people I was referred to by, friends or family friends, that sort of thing. But right now, luckily, 1 year later, I'm kind of no longer searching for those jobs. A lot of the jobs are coming fed directly to me, which is ideally where I wanted to be when I first started a year ago. And that was someone's advice, actually, was another YouTuber who said, you should try to get people to come to you rather than going to them. And he recommended a book called The Pitching Manifesto, which I have yet to pick up. But that sort of happened organically after I did so much reaching out. So I would say if you're first starting, you should be reaching out to people and building up a network, or at least that's what I was doing. And don't limit yourself either. Take jobs that are remote, take jobs that, maybe you don't know the person in person. Just make sure it's all contractually legit and that you are getting paid for your work. But right now, I decided after last year not making a whole lot of money, I made a chunk of money, but not enough to fully support myself. So this year, I decided I was going to do things a little smarter, and I ended up getting a part-time job working at a coffee shop. And so I have that part-time income, but I'm still working on stuff for clients. And I was really worried at first when I started that it was going to be this thing where I stopped animating and stopped working on animation because I figured, I'm going to be so exhausted from my work. But it actually turned out to be quite the opposite. And I am working on my stuff just as much, and if not even better, because I'm dedicating more time to personal projects. I'm not only chasing after paid projects or doing things for exposure. I'm also doing things for my own need. It's no longer survival mode. So that's pretty much a wrap on how this whole year went. If you have any questions or comments or need any advice and you're thinking of doing the same thing, I'm always here. Shoot me a message, shoot me a comment, if this video helped you or any of your friends, or you're interested in sharing it to anyone to open a discussion about this sort of thing, that would be awesome too. But thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoy the drawings and the commentary. These were some of the commissions I've been working on this past year. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.